Alright, what's up guys? Gonna make a quick watch list video for this week here. First one we have, I'm gonna start off with some large caps, finish with a couple small caps. So, first one I like is Disney. Could see the bottom right here. Kind of like a tweezer look to it, where both lows are basically the same for 2 weeks in a row. So we have 169.03, 169.10. So this is actually an inside week, but I like this for a move up through this little gap here and maybe take out these levels like 185 to 186. So if we zoom in onto the daily, I would like to see a move. The trigger would be Friday's high, which is 177, and there's a pretty nice looking gap here in the volume, so should definitely be able to move up to 184, I would think. This is the first resistance right under 181. I would say it definitely needs to hold the previous 2 weeks lows, but I would not go short on it unless it was under this wick at 167, because that could also act as like a support level. Below that, there's not much, but I would wait to see that broken if I was looking to go short. Next one is Intel. So the weekly is getting a little tight. I kind of like the daily view better here. So we have this downtrend, and it's starting to make higher lows into that downtrend. So I'm going to wait for the pattern to play out if I play this one, but to me, I would like to see a move up through here, with the first resistance being 55.5. Right now we're trading 53s, and then there's some levels in here where you could see on the weekly we have these wicks moving up, but I would definitely want to see a pattern breakout first before I take a position here. And to the downside, there's definitely room too, so I would wait for it to play out and see which way it chooses to go. Earnings, few weeks, so could see some volatility going into there too. The next ones I'm looking at is just the airlines in general look really good. So we could see LUV, Southwest. The weekly looks like it made a triple bottom right here, which is basically in the same area as this previous consolidation at the end of 2020, early 2021. So it's a good area of demand. And we could see finally start to break out, volumes slightly higher than average. And we have all these pivots to the upside from this whole rundown here. So I really like the look of that. Volume profile's a lot thinner as it moves up, and we have a bunch of targets to hit, and then it's basically moving towards all-time highs. So for me, I'll be buying dips this week on any of these names for a swing. Southwest is my favorite, and Spirit is probably my second favorite one out of the ones I looked at, where we were making higher lows on the weekly. We have this pretty big level where 27.85, where it rejected last week, but over that it should start moving through all these pivots as long as the sector in general can keep some strength. If we look at the daily, got some good volume in Friday with a good green day. It's kind of a little flag there. So for this one, I'll definitely be watching the 28 level and see if it can get through there. Then there's United. Relative to the others, United looks like it made slightly bigger of a move already, with these 2 green weeks in a row, pretty large, but it also had that triple bottom look like Southwest. But they're all very similar with these pivots to the upside. This one has a little more volume profile up here. That's why I kind of like Southwest better. But I think with any of these choices, as long as we can see strength in one of the names moving forward, it's pretty safe to buy dips in the others and try to let them run through these for a few weeks or months. And shout out to D-Book because he pointed out the airline sector to me, so it's looking really good last week and this week. So 2 small caps that I'm swinging. The first one is BRN. This is an oil sector sympathy. It's a lower float compared to most of the other ones. I think the float's just about 5 million, and we could see this week heavy volume compared to the past 5 or 6 weeks, and we're above that 20-week average, able to get through this about 3 level resistance, and now it's pretty thick here. It's point of control, so the next big level would be 360, and we could see over 360. This is a lot of room and has ran prior, so this is my top watch if CEI and all the other oil plays keep going. If we look at the daily, it's looking really good, kind of stair-stepping up here. We have it was a nice pattern actually. Had inside day, breakout, inside day, breakout. So now I'll be watching to see if we can keep this about 3 as support and eventually move through this 360 level. And volume looks really good here. So the last one is Aiki. This one started to get some volume 3 weeks ago, where they announced that they had a large position in DATS for less than $1 per share, and we saw DATS last week running, I think it ran over 18. So this one is kind of a loose sympathy to DATS. And if we look at the daily, got really good volume this week too, with these 2 huge volume days compared to the rest, and still fighting with this 92 level, and then we have that dollar kind of psych level and resistance from here. So I'm watching this one for continued volume, and if we come down near 78, 77, I would buy the dip on this one at support and try to let it run. I'd like to see 1 on here, and I'll definitely be keeping an eye on DATS because the higher that goes, then the more their investment's worth in here. That's my watch list for this week, so hit me up on Twitter if you want to see any other tickers charted on here or on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next week.